Doing it a little bit backwards this time, but anyways, here we go. Good morning, everybody.
Rise and shine, everyone.
Yes, beautiful Monday morning. Thank you for joining us. We're back home in our hometown of Ajax, Windsor, Windsor, second home from home. But you know, we just got back from Windsor. We, as you know, last week's episode, we were still in Calgary. And we had an incredible, I just want to say thank you to everybody in Calgary that came out for that real estate investor meetup. It was a great time. We had, I think, at least 100 people showed up there.
Yes.
And we were at, we had guest speakers. We had Ryan McInerney, co-founder of DevCap Advisors, was a guest speaker. We had Larry Scammell and Shane Shepard, founders of Core Capital, speaking. And we also had Justin Baubier, who was president of Crystal Creek Homes, present on stage there. So it was
and the gracious host of the venue, which was a fantastic showcase and theater.
Yeah. So it was at Crystal Creek Homes main office in Calgary. They have a beautiful showroom upstairs where we all had refreshments and mingled. And we went downstairs to about a little theater style setup where stage and all that sort of thing. And about, I think 90 people were able to sit in there, and we had to get extra seats for the people spilling out.
Overflow. But it was a fantastic session and a great reminder, right? That the involvement and connecting in the community, not only there's always learning and opportunities, it's just the connections and how you take it to that next level.
The energy in the room was just, it was fantastic. And that's why I'm talking about it again. I know we spoke about it briefly last week, but it was great. And we have some more news in terms of real estate investor meetups like that, with some presentations happening in February in Southwestern Ontario. So stay tuned. We're doing 3 cities in 3 nights. That's going to be exhausting, but we're really looking forward to doing that. And we're going to have some great presentations.
Yes, and in that continuation, we came straight from Calgary and went into Windsor.
We came with our good friend Lillian Ding. We landed at the Toronto airport. We were already packed, hopped in our car at the Park and Fly, and drove straight to Windsor and spent about 4 or 5 days out there with great friends and looking at more real estate opportunities. We had everything from single family homes to motels,
to multiplexes, multifamilies as well.
And yeah, and we just, I think, like I said before, I think we've been out there 8 or 9 times in the past 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months. And it's just a great reminder, right, of when you invest yourself in your market and you find that connection or that passion for it, it just makes it easier, right? Like the drive is nothing for us, the connection with our friends and just investing in the market, we see the opportunity and what is yet to come.
So why not then, since we just came from Windsor, to have Mike Seal, the realtor from Windsor, and with the Referral Network Realty, to come and talk to us about the Windsor market. How you doing, Mike?
Hey guys, how are you? It seems like a lifetime since I've seen you.
It actually does, yeah. No, but yeah, no, thanks for hosting us in Windsor again and showing us around. And first, just to remind everybody watching, Referral Network Realty, what's it all about?
Yeah, so Referral Network Realty is your destination or connection to investor-focused realtors across Canada and the United States. We do have some realtors in Panama and Costa Rica and a couple other southern countries as well. So if someone's out there and they're looking for a realtor and they're looking at investment opportunities, we'd love to get a chance to sit down and talk with anybody and everybody. You can reach out to us through Jim's website or through Jim and Irishmar directly, and I can have an intake call. We can figure out what markets are going to be best fitted for you. And then from there, we'll get you guys set up and rolling with our realtor in those preferred markets. So how's
awesome.
that?
Yeah, so for everybody watching this, this is a new segment. This is for 2023. We have Mike Seal is going to have somebody come on from Referral Network Realty to come on and talk about the market and why it's great to invest in their market. And like we said, Mike, Windsor was it. We love Windsor. What's the attraction for so many investors in Windsor?
Yeah, I think the best thing about the Windsor Essex market is we're home to over 1,000 manufacturers. We're home to the largest international border crossing. The new Gordie Howe Bridge is even bigger. We're talking about $500 million a day in import and export, right? 2/3 of North America, you can drive it in a day, which is fantastic as far as logistics goes. And we're home to that brand new EV plant, which is going to put about 3,000 new jobs into town, with feeder spinoff of close to 10 to 12,000 new jobs in the city of Windsor and Essex. So we're seeing a lot of dynamics in our market right now with tech jobs and the back into the auto sector, which I'm really surprised, but in the electric EV environment, which is the big go get, right? I mean, being a border town to Detroit makes it a quick 2-minute drive for all the culture, the concerts, the baseball games, the football games, the hockey games. So we get that big city lifestyle, really simple, real easy. And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over the border to get there, right?
And a lot of people think Detroit is not the city that it once was, but we beg to differ. I mean, the amount of cranes and construction that's going on that we can see across the river there from Windsor is just outstanding.
Well, and that's what you look for, right? When you're looking at a city and you know a city's growing, you got to look. I mean, Quicken Loans is building that great big $1.5 billion structure over there. It's going to be massive, talking 5,000 to 8,000 people working in that new facility down there. We got the Rocket Mortgage people now in the downtown Windsor core. So, you know, we're seeing more diversity with our new counselor and bringing and attracting new businesses into the downtown area. And we've got tons and tons of new development that's on the horizon for the Windsor Essex market over the next 5 to 7 years for sure.
There's that much activity already. The new counselor just came in, like he's already making that much moves.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's phenomenal, right? I mean, he's got so many connections. People know that, you know, we're putting that drive forward to make downtown a great place to be again. The university's investing down here, the college is investing downtown. You've got loads and loads of new commercial conversion buildings, some older commercial high-rise buildings that are being converted into residential use in the downtown area as well. You know, we just seen the announcement of that new building on Riverside Drive that the Maggio family is going to be building down there. So, I mean, there's just constant activity and constant growth. And I think it's in anticipation of knowing that we're going to need 5, 10, 15,000 people to come and fill up all the new jobs and positions down here. Yeah. Right. So there's going to be an attraction for our southwestern Ontario, right? Windsor, Chatham, London, St. Thomas, all of that South Windsor or southwestern core, I think is going to be drastically affected logistically for the new EV plant stuff and things that are going to happen there. You're going to have a lot of feeder plants supplying a lot of information, a lot of content for that as well.
Yeah, right. And Mike's got a great team of realtors with Referral Network Realty down in that whole strip there in southwestern Ontario.
Right from London and St. Thomas to the Windsor market and right into Detroit. You know, I was just talking to Matt yesterday. He was doing his video for the Keyspire Summit coming up, and you know, he's like, look, you know, a couple $100,000 and you're in the game right there close to the new international Gordie Howe Bridge. And you know, that's big. It's huge in the States, right? And you're seeing a lot of retooling happening with a lot of their automotive sector over there. So they're bringing more and more and more people back into the downtown area, which is trickling over into Windsor because we keep a lot of engineers and a lot of medical people that'll live here and work there. So those are some other benefits that you get here is two sides to the coin for employment for people when they're coming here is they can work on both sides of the border.
That is amazing. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. Really appreciate that. Again, I think I've already put the link on this live feed and Facebook. So reach out to Mike Seal. I'll put it in the comments. So you guys can get investing in the Windsor market or anywhere across North America.
I lost my throat screaming, yelling, having too much fun with you guys all.
Yeah. Well, that's what the tequila was for, to help soothe the throat. But I hope you feel better. I know you're a little unwell, so thanks for taking the time for joining us, Mike. And we'll talk to you, I'm sure, later this afternoon.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a great day.
All right. Thank you. No, we love Windsor, and we're really excited to bring on our next guest here.
Yes, our next guest.
So you know, we
have Dalia Barsoum.
Yes.
Who is the founder of Streetwise Wealth, at a boutique real estate with advisory firm and Streetwise Mortgages. As a multi-award winning, but specializing in the income property financing, which of course is very critical for the focus of the show.
Now Streetwise Mortgages, they were Canada's #1 small market broker. as ranked by Canadian Mortgage Professionals. So this is a big deal
Yes,
firm
it
here.
is. It is a big deal firm who has done over $1 million in mortgage volume,
Wow.
as well 2,700 of mortgages transaction ranging from residential to multifamily, mixed use, and even construction projects. So we're extremely excited to have her here, join us today, coming and share with us.
Thank you,
any tips.
Dalia.
Thank you for having me today, folks.
No, that's wonderful. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot going in. That was a brief bio, but a lot going on in your world.
Yes, yes. We're always working with investors, and there's always something happening with investors, whether it's an up market or a down market. Investors, I find, are always active, looking for opportunities and making things work because, building wealth and sticking with goals for investors is high priority. And that's what we're here for, to support everybody get closer to their goals.
That's awesome. A lot of the headlines are doom and gloom of and that there's not a lot of transactions happening. Has there been a significant slowdown in your world, or what's going on?
So the media is the media, as you know. They will take any piece of negative news and magnify it and beat the death out of it. And that's how they make money, as we all know. But sitting here at this desk, I see what's happening every day. So here's what I can tell you. Have we seen a slowdown in volume? Absolutely, we have, no doubt. Did values change in some markets? Absolutely, they did. However, we operate in Ontario, Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, Manitoba. So I see various markets. And here's what I can tell you. Investors are still very, very active. And those investors who are not afraid to run the numbers and recognize that the market we're in is offering opportunities are the investors that are taking steps forward. So there are obviously some investors who are scared and listening to the media. That is unfortunate, but I'm seeing some investors go against the wave and make offers and negotiate better deals and get conditions in and get better prices, which is something that in the past 6 months was not as possible as now. So am I seeing activity? Absolutely. Who am I seeing it mostly from? Real estate investors. I wouldn't say I'm seeing it as much from the first-time home buyer, but we work with investors, so that's my lens of the world anyways.
No, it's amazing. And if we've been we've been fortunate enough to be part of educational real estate investing educational programs. So the key is, if there's fear in the market and
it's a good time for the opportunity.
Exactly. So that's good. It's good to hear that there's some transactions still happening and people still have faith in the market.
So what would be, sorry, just because based on what you said, it led me to what would be the top, advice to not make this mistake right now for those investors that are fearful and not necessarily taking action? What would be your?
So here are a couple of things. One, it's important to still do your homework, right? And right now, given the market conditions, there is an opportunity to put in financing conditions and to, have reasonable offers in place. So do your homework. Don't go with the firm offers. Like, we're no longer in that crazy hot market. So do your homework. And then two, I would be more diligent about picking a strategy in this market that we're in, right? So I would be selective about doing flips. I would be where I do flips and when do I do flips. I would be selective about doing buy, renovate, refinances on smaller properties, because the idea is, you want to obviously put renovations in and see the value rise at a certain point to pull your money out and move on to the next deal. I'd be more conservative with that type of strategy. I'd also be selective about how much leverage when it comes to private money I would take right now, because in the height of the cycle, there were lenders offering private money at high loan to values, which as investors, we love getting the zero down deals and the less money in the deal, but I would be selective about how much high leverage I take and also validating how I'm going to pay back that money early on, like through a broker, for example. Like what we do for our clients, if they are going to take private money, is I ran I ran scenarios to see how they're going to exit the deal in a couple of months from now, and what does the worst case look like. And I would go with conservative assumptions to be prepared for, the worst case scenario, because unfortunately right now I'm getting some deals from other like investors who took, let's say, private money at the height of the cycle at 100% loan to value. And they can't exit that money right now because, they didn't validate their exit. They didn't look at the worst case. So these are some valuable lessons to keep, close to heart right now as you make a move in this market. So do your homework, avoid very high leverage, stick with strategies that are more long-term, that are not reliant on market cycle. And there are opportunities. I'm seeing more apartment building investing. I'm seeing more midterm and short-term rentals. I'm seeing long-term buy and holds, and still student rentals. So these are the things that are the gist of what we're observing right now and some of the tips.
No, that I think one is fantastic, because it gives us a great highlight of not only what to avoid, what to be cautioned in, because it's not really to put the brakes. But I'm pretty certain you're getting lots of questions, and perhaps a rookie investor, coming to you with, oh my gosh, we went for it, we made this mistake, now how do we get out of it? What are the type of questions, I guess, challenges that you have been getting right now? Because I'm sure you're getting flooded.
Yeah, I would like to remind everyone that there is always a solution to problems, right? As much as you may be running into a challenge and the situation is desperate or frustrating, I believe in solutions, and there is always a solution. It may not be the easiest solution, but there is a solution. So here are the challenges we're seeing right now that we're helping investors with. One, there is cash flow pressure, right? There is rising interest rates have put a lot of pressure on cash flow. And I have put out multiple strategies on how to deal with that. One of them, like if you Google the cash flow booster strategy on Google by Streetwise, it is a strategy that I've put out on how to turn a negative cash flow property to a positive cash flow property. And then we're looking at things such as restructuring debts, extending amortizations to help ease up the pressure. So that's a big challenge right now, cash flow pressures. The other one is values, right? Someone who took, let's say, a big debt or a private mortgage at the height of the cycle and finished their renovation later than they expected because things are taking longer, right? And the values took a turn. How are they going to exit that private loan? We're coming across situations like this. And again, we are proposing certain things to help restructure or deal with these challenges. So that's the second one. I would say these are the top two cash flow pressures and exiting private money. And the third one is, how do I qualify? If I want to make a move in this market on the residential side, how do I qualify given that qualification has become tougher? That's the third challenge, but we also have solutions because we do something exclusive in the market called the financing roadmap, which is sitting down with every investor and looking at everything from their goals and capital sources and how are they going to maximize their borrowing powers and how are we going to structure deals. And that is basically, this goes beyond getting a mortgage calculator and saying, here's what you qualify for. It's about where do we tweak debts to help you qualify? Where do we pay certain things? What type of money do we use when to make sure we maneuver this new rising bar of qualification? So these are the new things, new challenges investors are dealing with right now. But like I said, if you are in one of these boats, don't get discouraged. There is a solution. And yes, it's going to take work, but that's what it takes.
Wow.
That is fantastic. And to those watching, don't worry, we will be putting in the link, the contact information for a Streetwise website. And I know you have mentioned before, you have a complimentary session and you can get that proper roadmap and take it to that step that is going to be suitable if you're a beginner or if you're a seasoned investor or if you're right in the middle looking to elevate.
Yes, absolutely. And also for those who are investing in multifamily right now, we do have some complimentary tools that we're offering. If you go to streetwisemortgages.com/toolkit, I've got a kit on the frequently asked questions, a debt coverage calculator. I've got a 1-hour webinar complimentary to walk you through how to calculate your down payment. So we're putting out a lot of tools and solutions to help investors right now as well.
Now, I know you have the Wealth Boutique, Streetwise Wealth and Streetwise Mortgages. So it sounds like with this roadmap that you've created, that you're taking almost like a financial planning, know your customer approach to real estate investors getting mortgages with you, where you you want to understand the greater picture and their goals.
Yeah, so Jim, the financing roadmap with Streetwise Mortgages is complementary to every investor who works with us, and it does basically create a financing roadmap, which is where is the money going to come from, how are you going to structure your deals, all of that stuff that I talked about. Once you tell us where you're headed as an investor, Streetwise Wealth is more about, I want to create $10,000 of cash flow. I want to quit my job by X, by year 2027. What asset class am I going to invest in? How I'm going to get there? How does this fit my financial picture? That is a different level of planning. So that is Streetwise Wealth.
Incredible. So yeah, so there's
So clearly it is a great opportunity to connect at an entry level, leveling up, but having that big picture where you want to go, so you can really help structure and guide that journey.
Yeah.
I mean, we get investors at any point in their investment journey. We have investors who are starting with us with a primary residence and they're getting into the rental market. We have investors with a few properties who want to get to 5. And then we have investors who are at 20, 30, and then have investors in the multi-development and building. So we support the investors through their investment journey, and we know how to actually get them there using the money tools that we've got in place. And yeah, that's what we love to do.
This is definitely more of a relationship building kind of, something that the people that come to you are going to be working with you for years and years or decades to come. This is not where we say, oh, in 5 years' times, we're going to try mortgages with somebody else or one of the banks. It sounds like this is such a great connection, that relationship that you have going on with your clients, that they just are going to be involved with you for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and that's really it. Like, we've got investors who started with us at 2 properties, and now they are converting commercial to residential and doing developments and have portfolios of more than 50 properties. So it is, and because we understand as investors go and build up their wealth, what money hurdles do they face? And we've developed expertise in terms of advice and solutions to support them along that journey. So it is a relationship, and it's not just about, hey, I have a deal, go get me a mortgage. That's not how we operate.
Amazing.
Fantastic. And just a quick question that's just popped in my mind. As you're working in that journey, would one of the mortgage products perhaps that your firm can facilitate, could it be looking at opportunities where we have 2 individual properties, one can be a duplex, one can be a triplex, and we're now trying to look at how we can combine them to make it a commercial mortgage?
Yes. So my philosophy when it comes to financing residential properties, which is anything below 4 units, is let's first exhaust all of your residential options, meaning A lenders, B lenders, credit unions. So that's typically my path of financing, right? Before I go to the commercial. So to answer your question, can you combine them into a 5 units and look at commercial? Absolutely. And we've done that. But is it the first option to jump into? No. Why? Because it is going to come with a cost and is not necessarily efficient or optimal if you have still options on the residential side. So when does it work best? It works if we've exhausted everything on the residential, or if you're a full-time real estate investor that has hit now a wall on the residential side and we need to actually make your deals work in commercial. So that is a solution at that point.
Oh, perfect.
Very cool. I think we're the conversation's going into our own personal journey here. We're just trying to still some more information. Now sorry.
No.
Now, if everybody watching, if Dalia seems recognizable, you think you've seen her before. We were introduced to her while she presented on stage last year
At the multifamily conference, and she will be at the multifamily conference this week again. But she's
this May.
This May.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, this upcoming May.
Not this week. Not this week. Yes, this
Not
May.
this week. This May. And she's also the co-author of Investors Financing, which you can get all the right tips and what to avoid. Have a great start and another great read, right? Because we need to have that constant learning.
Yeah, how was it putting that book together, Dalia? And how long ago was that?
That was actually in 2013, and I am going to be updating the book. Very few things have changed since then, but there is more to add and more to update. But 2013, and it was me hiding in a basement writing the book. That's how it looked like. I grew up a beard and just sat down after Christmas for 12 weeks and wrote the book because I had a deadline to work with. I wanted to launch the book at the Canadian Real Estate Investor Forum. So that's when I wrote it back in 2013.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh,
that
wow.
actually, that is already showing not only the empowerment and the drive that you have, that commitment. You put yourself in that deadline. It's like, I'm going to go for it and I'm going to do it. That's incredible.
I can't believe it's 10 years old because it's such a fantastic read. Everything is relevant to today.
It is still very relevant. Like very, very, very few things have changed, but yes, it is relevant. And with real estate or with anything, I find if you set a deadline, and I hate use this terminology, but a gun to the head, just
yes.
there is no out. You just got to do it. Do it.
Oh, incredible. I think did we talk about everything that we're slated to talk about, or what? I was taking the conversation in another way there.
No, I think we had covered a little bit of everything. You would remain available to everyone, as she already mentioned. Everything is complimentary. There are a lot of toolkits out there, so just feel free to reach out to Streetwise. You will have that support. We know that you're extremely busy, but we're also grateful that you were able to come on the show today to share your knowledge and your tips. And clearly just to give you a guidance. So it doesn't matter if we make mistakes, there's always a solution and we can have the conversation.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is always a solution, regardless of how difficult you think it may be, or whether or not you reach a dead end. And it does help to talk to someone who has seen so many deals, because we get a lot of clients who say, you know what, I got declined. And then we open up room for them. Or my bank told me I need 35% down, and we get them into 5 properties with 20% down. Or I can't get into this apartment building, and we figure out ways to get them into apartment buildings. So it's about strategy, solutions, and conversation. That's really key.
wow. So many of us, especially at this time of year, winter, the doom and gloom of the news, and then the weather and all that sort of stuff gets us into a mindset where we're not so excited and we're worried about the markets. And really what you're saying, Dalia, is making me feel a lot better about some situations that we're looking at personally. So we'll be in touch for sure. And I'll be on that toolkit on your website.
Yeah, we're here to help. And if anybody has any question, email us at info@streetwisemortgages.com. If you want a second opinion, or if you want to discuss solutions for a challenge that you're having right now on the financing front, or plan for this year ahead, just email us, info@streetwisemortgages.com. I've got an incredible team, and we'd love to support you.
Awesome.
No, that is amazing. Thank you so very much.
Appreciate everything, Dalia. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you everybody for watching Rise and Shine this week. We'll see you next Monday. We'll have another great guest, and we'll get an update from Referral Network Realty on what's going on across the country. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Dalia.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
In touch. No, you're most welcome.
Bye-bye.